Alright guys, I'm just going to start this video off by talking about the car and what it is a little bit. So it's a 1993 Chevy Corvette. It's got the 5.7 liter LT1 engine with a 6-speed manual transmission and a limited slip differential. So I bought the car when I was 19. I had saved up, worked a bunch of hours on my first job, had enough money, and my old car was getting ready to die on me, so I needed to find something new. If I had done a little more research at the time for what I paid for this thing, I probably could have gotten a little more of a clapped out C5, something with an LS, but I just saw a Corvette and I was like, I gotta have it. Just a fun car to drive too. I mean, you could throw it into turns, you could skid around, you could do whatever, pretty much whatever you wanted with it, minus, wrapping it into a tree. That's not good. It is kind of just a view of the instrument panel. Still got the LCD display screen. It says change engine oil, which is probably coming up this week when I get some time. All the radio buttons work. Took the AC out, so I no longer have AC, but heat works, which is kind of nice in the winter, even though I don't drive it all that much when it snows or it gets too cold. So this button here is kind of one of the first modifications I want to talk about. Electric water pump. And yeah, it's probably one of the best things I've done to this car. The original water pump was pretty old, leaking, and where they fall on these engines is actually right over top of the distributor. So I knew it was just a matter of time before that was going to actually take out the distributor. Yeah, it's a real crappy design. That was one of the first things I did to it. I put the electric water pump on, and what it also enables me to do is when I'm just sitting here at idle, I could actually just turn the key off and still have coolant flowing, whereas the actual or the original water pump was driven by the camshaft. So if you wanted to have coolant flowing, you had to have the engine running. Now right now it's pretty cold out, so I get plenty of airflow and the air is cool enough, but when it gets into the summer seasons, these cars do like to creep up pretty hot. I mean, everybody will tell you they get too hot, but they get to about 230. I think I've seen mine go up to 235 degree coolant temps, and with aluminum heads, it's kind of sketchy. I mean, it's a 27-year-old car now, and really would just like to keep the cooling system up to point. So as you can see, turn it on, fires right over, makes a lot of good noises. This button is probably one of my favorites too, because hit that, you get that little light, and traction control is now turned off, so you can have some fun. For the most part, I drive with it turned off. I hate traction control. It has its benefits, but in a car like this where I'm not trying to really get traction, I'm trying to have fun with it, yeah, it definitely helps to just turn it off. So that's kind of more of the inside. Not too much else done in here. I will be adding a couple more buttons for something I'm planning this winter, and hopefully you guys will stick around to see it, because I've got some interesting plans for this car. Kind of going with a sleeper look where it's not going to change much of the aesthetics to it, but I am going to be putting a power adder on, and I'll let you guys know about that when the time comes.
What'd it do?
Shitbox.
Shitbox.
You gotta give it love in the right spot, and it'll just fucking magically work. But if you don't hit the right spot,
She doesn't come.
she doesn't come.
Stop.
Cruising is coming soon, but I have to run some errands. So.
Alright.
Here we go.
Alright. We'll be back.
Remember, guys, if you don't shake it at least 3 times, are you really in neutral?